What's up, y'all? Welcome to Wheels and Whiskey. I'm your host, Keith Sweeney, and here we drive fast and sip slowly. So today we're going to talk about 5 cars under 10K. Now, there's a bunch of other cars that I'm probably going to miss that are under 10K. These are just my personal opinion. These are ones that I lean to just because I've owned all these and I absolutely love them. And I think they're going to be great for people that are just wanting to get into the car scene, or maybe you've got like a couple grand that you want to just spend and go get you a car. We're going to start off though with the Volkswagen Mark IV GTI. Yes, Mark IV GTI with the 1.8T can't beat. Absolutely love that car. That car actually started my love for cars. Super fun car. They come with a turbo, like I said, the 1.8T making 180 horsepower. Now, there's 2 versions of it. Well, there's actually 3 versions. So you have the 2.0 Golf, we call it the 2.0 Slow, you got the 1.8T, but then there's also the VR6, which is amazing, because it's got that sweet VR6 that makes awesome sounds. But back to the GTI. The cool part about that GTI is it's a hot hatch. Volkswagen has been making hot hatches since the dawn of cars, pretty much. They created the foundation for hot hatches, and boy, did they did an awesome job with this. I've personally owned 7 of them. Yes, 7. Because I liked them. They're so much fun, and they're cheap, and you can make them like just have incredible horsepower. It's simple to upgrade. It doesn't take a lot to actually build it to be either a show car or heck, even just a sweet car to take to the track and rip. Now, when you go to get one, make sure you're checking for a check engine light. If the check engine light is off, do not buy it. That means they're hiding something, because every single Volkswagen out there better have a check engine light. I don't know what it is about Volkswagens, but if it doesn't have a check engine light on, then they're probably hiding something. Also, it's probably gonna smell like crowns. Something about the adhesive and glue that they use, but it just smells like crowns, so, you know, yeah. But back to the interior, it's really nice interior. They got in leather and cloth as well. You can get them with a sunroof. They come with the automatic. They also come with the manual. Of course, I recommend the manual. They're gonna be front wheel drive on a lot of those. Now the VR6, you can probably get an all wheel drive, a little hard to find, but super sweet if you do. And yes, you can find these under 10K. Not even just the Mark IV. We can go up to the Mark V and the Mark VI as well. Maybe a Mark VII if you're lucky. But once you get into the Mark V and Mark VI, they change the interior up. They add some plaid interior in there, which everybody loves. I think it looks super good. On top of that, they do small little aesthetic things. Can't word today. So, but yeah, like for instance, the shifter, it's a golf ball. How cool is that? The GTI, a fantastic car, great beginner car. They look good, they sound good, hot hatch. You can get one with a 2-door or even the 4-door. Just depends on what your preference is. So GTI, check that out. Next on our list, and this is probably no surprise, is the Mazda Miata. No brainer there. You can find the NA, the NB, and the NC all under 10K. Not so much the ND, they're still fairly new. Beautiful car. But if you find one under 10K, I'd be a little hesitant and probably look for some issues there. But the NA with the beautiful pop-up headlights that everybody likes, you can find them for 2 grand to 10 grand, depending on what it is. There's the market for that, there's a massive gap. But it's so cool to see one. I went to a car show just recently and it was completely gutted just to the skeleton bones of it, just the frame, but it was still street legal. He put a K-Series motor in it and I was like, that's wicked. And I was like, that's a Miata, it had a K-Series motor in it. The options that you can do are endless. You can turn it into a drift car because, you know, I mean, honestly, you could go buy one for like 4,500 bucks and immediately just go drift in it right now. Just because rear wheel drive, manual, easy to do, fun to do, and a great car to learn how to drive manual in. Are they fast? No, they're not. No, they're not. But you will see Miatas smoking Corvettes at a track and corners, not on the straightaway, because they handle so well. And people just love them. Now, can you make it fast? Absolutely, you can make any car fast. Everybody's LS swapping those bad boys and turn them into rockets. That's pretty dope. You get a $2,000 Miata and go get you, an LS from the junkyard, and then you and your homies get in the garage and start building away. Duh. Lots of fun, lots of power. Have a drink or two, but you can have a lot of fun with Miata. They're great. You can turn into a show car if you want to as well. I mean, they just look good. They're fun, they're slick, and they're affordable. And parts are cheap. That's another thing. Parts are dirt cheap. Go to eBay, buy some of your parts off there, slap it on there. Mazda Miata, I'm sure it was a no-brainer for you guys. Y'all probably knew it was coming. Up next, American Muscle. Ford Mustang. Yes, a Ford Mustang. I'm sure you guys knew that. For all you guys that like a big boy V8, let's talk about it. I'm talking probably about, the mid 2000s, probably about 2008, 2010. There's so many trim options. You can definitely find the older Mustangs as well for, for under 10K all day. But we're gonna focus on, that range right there, because they come with a 4.6 V8, making about 300 horsepower, which is great. V8, that's the thing. If you want the sweet rumble and that burly feel and sound, you get a Mustang. Why not? Yes, you can get a Camaro too. Don't worry, we're talking to you Camaro guys out there. But right now we're gonna focus on the Mustang. There are so many different trim levels for that car. There's just too many to name. There really is. The aftermarket support for that car is ginormous. It is huge. I've never seen so many different type of hoods on a car that you can get, and the Mustang is definitely one of them. But you can turn into a show car, you can turn into a track car, you can turn into a drift car. There's so many options. You can put a turbo on it, which sounds awesome. I'm very biased towards turbos just because I love the sounds they make. You can put a supercharger on it and get that whiny sound if you want. There's so much that you can do. Rear wheel drive as well. That's one thing that Ford did pretty well is, the suspension's really good that a lot of people will beef them up and they'll leave the suspension stock and go straight to the track and rip on it. Thanks, Ford. Ford Mustang. There, of course, like I said, the older models, you could probably find a Fox body too as well, which the Fox bodies are coming back, so the prices are getting a little bit higher on those, but can you find one under 10K? Absolutely, and they look pretty sick. Up next, Audi TT. I know we talked about the Golf GTI earlier. You're like, well, the Audi TT is pretty much essentially the same thing. Yes, but we are going to specifically talk about the Mark II. Not the Mark I, not the Mark III, but the Mark II. The Mark II is absolutely beautiful. It comes with two different types of motors, 2.0 turbo, or you can also get the VR6. Both phenomenal motors, if you ask me. The 2.0 turbo is one I had, and yes, you can get these under 10 grand all day long. I bought mine for 6 grand and I made it look like this for under 10K. Tell me that's not pretty sweet. I mean, literally, and I did all the work myself, so I saved myself a lot of money there. Everybody's gonna think you probably got like a $40,000 car when realistically it was a $6,000 to $8,000 car. Now you can find these all day between 4,500 bucks to maybe about 10 grand, sometimes even higher for the Mark II. I've seen Mark IIs go for 15,000. Just because, but they were built and they were done pretty well. So there's only 3 different trim levels realistically for them. You have the TT, then you have the TTS, and then you have the TTRS, which is nasty. Yeah, it's bad to the bone. Front wheel drive, if you go with the 2.0 turbo, once you get into the VR6 and the higher trims, then you're gonna get to the all-wheel drive, which is really cool. You talk about a car that hooks with all-wheel drive, it can get down and boogie. And it's a fun car. And surprisingly, parts are actually pretty cheap for that car. A lot of people think, oh my God, Audi, I can't afford that, high maintenance, blah, 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 blah. No, it is very similar to the Golf GTI. It's the same platform, same motor. It's essentially the same car, different look, and you're getting that luxury view. I'm biased because I absolutely love the Audi TT. I like having cars that most people don't have, and you don't see many of those around. But what's so cool about those cars is the interior on it. It's gonna give you some bucket seats. It's gonna be a slick coupe design as well. The neat part about the Mark II is it's got a wing in the back that automatically lifts up and lifts down. You can do it manually, or if once you hit 75 miles per hour, it lifts right up. Super cool. People are blown away by that. They're like, whoa, that's cool. I'm like, yeah, no, bro. It's just my Audi. I'm just kidding, I don't do that in real life. Maybe I do. Last on our list is gonna be the Scion FRS. Can you find them under 10 grand? Yes, it may be a little difficult, but you can find them under 10 grand. So, Scion being Toyota, Scion is no longer a company. That's why they're so cheap. And you know what? It's a great car. I remember when they first came out, my buddy worked at the dealership, and I said, man, can I test drive one of those? He goes, yeah, man, come on, let's go. I was like, sweet, I'm there. And when I test drive stuff, I test drive stuff. So we got into a manual and everything, and it was brand spanking new. I said, we need to break these tires in. Took the traction control off, put it in first, popped that clutch. I gave it the beans. Slammed it back in a second, got sideways on it. Absolutely fun. Rear wheel drive. It's got the 2.0-liter flat 4, making about 200 horsepower. Is it fast? No, it is not. More likely, you will get beaten by a Toyota Sienna with the dad and his family with their kids waving at you, just smoking you. But at least you'll look cool losing. Now, can you make it fast? Of course you can. You're gonna have to dump some money into it. Of course, you know, you can LS swap it. I haven't seen a K-Series one out there, but I'm sure there is. But regardless, there's a lot of upgrades that you can do with them. The aftermarket support is huge for the Scion FRS. I'm talking about some sick cosmetics. I've seen some bad to the bone wide body FRSs. You can make them absolutely look beautiful. The interior is gorgeous too. Cloth interior on most of the trim levels. The interior is super cool in those FRSs. You got the bucket seats. It's got upgraded radio and stuff like that, so you can get all the latest Bluetooth. You get a very modern looking car for under $10,000. That's the big thing. You can find them. Just make sure you do your due diligence when you look at them. Check for any type of wear and tear, look for check engine lights or anything like that. Take an OBD scanner with you and just look it over. Ultimately, a beautiful car. I think you could enjoy it a lot. So these are the 5 cars that I recommend under 10K. This is just like, you know, my personal opinion. I probably missed out on a bunch of cars. Trust me, I know I did. I know you Honda boys are like, what about the Honda Civic Si? Yes, absolutely, we're gonna get to that. There's tons of cars out there. Shoot, we could have talked about the Infiniti G35, G37, great, fantastic cars. But you know what, we're gonna talk more about those and get more in depth later. I just wanna appreciate everybody coming in, checking out the video, and watching. Thanks for watching Wheels and Whiskey. Remember guys, drive fast, sip slowly. See ya.